From the bottom left, Layer List provides a way to work with layers and also acts as the legend for Map Studio. Up in the top right of Layer List are global options to turn all layers off and on, as well as collapse or expand all layers. Anything that you add to Map Studio in terms of landscapes, simulation outputs, reference layers, shapes, all of this is visible in Layer List. Individually, these layers can be turned off and on using the checkbox to the left of each layer. And for multi-part layers like landscapes or fire modeling outputs, the expand icon to the very far left will expand the different features in that layer. To see the legend for these different features, you can click the legend icon to the right. You'll see each layer has an options icon in the very far right. So if I click this, we'll see different options depending on the type of layer we're looking at. Ones that you'll always find on here, move layer up and move layer down. So for example, if you've got a shape that's underneath the landscape, you can move that up to view the shape. Remove layer from layer list and adjust transparency. And adjust transparency and move layer up and down are also available for individual features like fuel model, for example. So at the moment, I've got a shape, a reference layer for service buildings, and a landscape. I'll point out some of the options specific to layer types. For shapes and shapefiles, you'll notice there's an option to view the attribute table, which will show the attribute table for that shape. There's also enable pop-ups. So if I wanted to learn more about a specific shape by clicking on it, I'd click enable pop-ups and click in the shape. You can see we've got some data popping up here now. Enable pop-ups can be especially handy for reference layers as well. For example, getting specifics on a specific point in this reference layer. And that can be turned off in the same way, just by clicking disable pop-ups. You can also change shape symbology with the change symbology feature, and this can be particularly handy because a lot of times shapes will be created in IFTDSS with fill, which makes it kind of hard to see the fire behavior in landscapes within that shape. So I'll often go in and turn the fill off with this no fill button. If we wanted to add a fill, however, we could by clicking in the fill color, making a selection there. And that also comes with controls to change transparency. See, we've got a previewer up here. If I applied symbology, you could also see this in the Map Studio. So I'll change this back to no fill. Outline you can change as well with color, width, and transparency. If you're working with points, there's also an option to change the symbol. And these changes to shape symbology persist outside of this Map Studio session. So these changes I've made here, I'll be able to see whenever I add the shape to Map Studio. For IFTDSS reference layers, you also have the option to enable and view pop-ups, view the attribute table, and view metadata can be particularly helpful for these to see the metadata for individual reference layers. This will take you to the metadata page for that layer. For landscapes and model outputs, if I click on more options, you see the apply mask option. So for example, we've got a couple of shapes in this landscape, and if I wanted to mask this landscape to just show within those shapes, I could do that with apply mask. Click that option. Select the shape to constrain this to, and we've got a search feature, so we don't have to scroll forever. So I'll click Apply Mask, and that mask has been applied. If I wanted to set this back, I could click Remove Mask. A couple other handy features. There's also the zoom to full extent for each of these layers. And if we click a large layer, say for example, quick protection units, see that blue dot there. So that lets us know that it is in the process of loading. So if you add a layer to this and it doesn't quite look right yet, look for that blue dot. That just lets us know things are in the process of loading. When it is fully loaded to the map, that dot will disappear.